really come together over the course of the season, culminating in Empire 8 team championships for both the men and the women, and qualifying 3 individuals for the national championships. We've had, I believe, 11 school records, don't quote me on that, at least 10 over the course of the season, including one last week by Parker Dimmick in the weight throw. And we're just thrilled with our freshmen, how well they've become integrated into the team and how much they've contributed, especially at the conference meet. And then we've been really pleased with the leadership of our older athletes, and all 3 of our representatives at the national championship have been a big part of our captains and our leadership, and we're thrilled to see them represent us as usual. Yeah, this week's been really exciting because the coaching staff, we've been able to focus on our 3 national qualifiers and spend more time just talking about little tweaks on technique, mental preparation, strategy, and we'll continue doing that the rest of our trip over the next 4 days. It's a really special time. I know that our assistant coaches really enjoy the opportunity to grow in their relationships with those student athletes, and also really focus on competing at the highest level. We've been fortunate that the 3 of them all qualified for this meet last year, so it's been on our radar. It's been part of our training plan all along to peak them for this event, and that's been the plan for a year now. Before I even arrived, that was the plan, and so they're ready to go. And this week has been the fun. Yeah, the biggest thing that struck me all the way back in August and September, before official track practices had started, is their work ethic. I've never seen a group of sprinters, any institution that I've been a part of, that voluntarily wakes up at 6:30 in the morning and gets all their teammates to show up so that they can work out together, doing hill sprints, doing workouts on the turf, going to the weight room, all on their own. And I've just been so impressed with how hard they work with very little guidance. And they drive the engine of this team. All 3 of them are great advocates for our program, for the younger athletes. They're great mentors, and they really inspire all of us, from the coaching staff down to the freshmen, to bring our A game to practice every day. And so I think the other thing that people should know about the 3 of them is that they're not at the national championships because they're supremely talented individuals. They've worked really hard over the course of their high school and college careers to develop and improve. And I'm so impressed with even the leap they've taken from last year to this year, right? They were all Americans last year, and all 3 of them are in better shape now than they were a year ago at this time, and they put themselves in position to be even more successful this year at the national championships. And that's a testament to their character, their work ethic, and their vision, both for themselves and for the team. So for the sprinters, Friday, day 1, is prelims. It's all about advancing to day 2. I think that at some previous national meets, Gina, she's doing 2 events, both the 400 and the 200. There's a very fine line between balancing not expending too much energy in the prelims versus taking care of business and making sure that you qualify with ease and that you get a good lane and heat placement for the finals. This being her 3rd straight indoor national championships, she's getting more comfortable understanding what that qualifying process is all about, measuring her own effort, being ranked 2nd in the 400. She shouldn't have to run all out to qualify for the final. That's an advantage that she has going in. She didn't race last weekend. She's rested. The same is true for Katie. She didn't throw last weekend. So that's an advantage they have over a lot of the other qualifiers who had to go to last chance meets last weekend just to earn a spot in the field. And that goes back to this being the plan all along, right? So I think the other things in order for them to be successful is this is a bank track at the Reggie Lewis Center in Boston. The majority of our meets have been on bank tracks all year because with this in mind, right? We've been preparing to race on a bank track all year. They're very comfortable racing on the bank, and they know what they need to do in terms of technique and form to use the bank to their advantage. So we just saw at the last World Championships, Olympics, Wade van Niekerk of South Africa set the 400-meter world record out of lane 8, and most sprinters would tell you that's not where you want to be. You don't even get to see your competition. But I think, particularly indoors, it can be advantageous to be in the outside because you have a little bit wider radius in those outside lanes. I think the other thing that's a little bit strange about the finals in both the 200 and the 400 is that they put the first and second place finishers from the prelims in the final heat, but not the third and fourth place finishers. They're in the first heat. So you're not going to be going head to head with all of the major players potentially. So there is an element both in the prelims and in the finals of racing against the clock in those events, and that's a little bit different than the outdoor championships. As a coach, one of the things that I'm going to be paying special attention to on Friday is the other prelims, what the other athletes look like, who the other major players are, how they attack their races, and we won't just be looking at the 400-meter prelims. A lot of them are doubling in the 4x400-meter relay, so you get a chance to see them multiple times. So I think that's the major thing, is just scouting the competition the same way that you would for other sports. But then we know who a lot of the major players are. We've seen a lot of them at meets during the regular season and previous national championships. So we have a pretty good idea of who we're looking for, and then others will emerge on day one. It's just exciting, right? There's a groundswell of enthusiasm from alumni, from parents, from our team supporting these three individuals at the national championships. Everybody wants to see them do their best, and we're all rooting them on. And I think that the team and the program has already established a really strong tradition of sending individuals to nationals, and not only sending them there, but having them perform at the highest level, with national champions like Amy Regan and Gladys just in 2016. So the three of them are part of that long line, and they already have started to leave their legacy last year, and I think they're just ready to show what they can do after a full year's worth